Yo, what's good, everyone? Your boy Deke back again with another vid, and I guess this is a start of a series. I had this cool little idea that I want to do 2021 season predictions for the 25 to 30 most important Steelers heading into the 2021 season. So let's start with Diontae Johnson. All I'm going to do is highlight their career as a Steeler thus far, talk about their highs and lows, both career and last season, and then talk about their ceiling and floor heading into the 2021 season. So Diontae Johnson, third-round pick out of Toledo in the 2019 NFL Draft.
The Pittsburgh Steelers select Diontae Johnson.
A lot of Steeler fans were hoping that he could be AB's replacement. You know how the Steelers draft receivers, but I think we all knew realistically that no one was going to be able to replace AB. But it definitely looked like Diontae Johnson had some talent, and he did showcase that in his rookie season. With 59 receptions, 680 yards, and 5 touchdowns, all without Ben Roethlisberger at the helm, we were leaving his rookie season thinking he was going to take a pretty big sophomore jump. Some expert pundits were even clamoring for Diontae to get 100 receptions in 2020.
I think we got to get this ball, Diontae Johnson, the ball a lot this year. I think we got to get this ball, Diontae Johnson.
English, motherfucker, do you speak it?
The ball a lot this year, man. Like 100 receptions. Like we should make that, I guess, the baseline for him. We're just going to get him the ball and see what happens.
That shirt that guy's rocking really stands the test of time. But anyway, the thought was get the ball to Diontae early and often because he has make-you-miss ability that is tops in the league. Ultimately, his 2020 season left fans with mixed emotions because we saw the awesome trajectory he was on in his sophomore season. We saw the spectacular plays. We saw the make-you-miss ability, the clutch plays and big moments early on in the season, but ultimately drops started to plague him as the season started to close. Still finished the season with 88 receptions, 923 yards, and 7 touchdowns, which is still pretty damn good for a receiver in his second year looking to reach his potential. So that's the context of Diontae Johnson's Steeler career thus far with 2 seasons under his belt. Let's look at some of the highs and lows. Now, what do I say his high moment was for the 2020 season? You could point to against the Denver Broncos where he made about 10 dudes miss on a punt return. Maybe you could talk about some of his multiple touchdown games against the Titans. Big time game against the Bengals too. It's over 100 yards. But the moment that I point to is against the Indianapolis Colts. At this point, the division was on the line. Our offense was not looking too hot. We're down 24-7. 3 minutes left in the third quarter. Something needed to give. And Diontae makes an amazing catch. This is coming off of the Bills game, too, where people were ripping on him about the drops. Big Ben makes a nice throw. Diontae makes an amazing catch, and this was the momentum that we needed to get back in this game. Just torched him. Torched him on the outside. Amazing catch. Right there, right back in the game. And then I think we can all agree on the low moment for 2020. It was the drops, and then ultimately it was really that Buffalo Bills game where it was this big snowball effect. Like right there, that was probably a first down. He had a few drops in the Bills game early on. And then ultimately he got benched at some point in this game, but then came back because we saw how important Diontae Johnson is for the Steelers offense. Best career moment, that Colts one's pretty good, but I think he had a better one in his rookie season. So this was the 2019 Steelers. Duck Hodges is the quarterback. Any points that you could get, whether it's special teams or defense, can go a long way. And as you can see, we're 7-5. We're gunning for the playoffs at this point. We're on a nice little win streak. I think we won like 7 of our last 8 games. Something crazy. We're out in Arizona, first quarter. And Diontae Johnson shows off that make-you-miss ability, that speed, and how he can make some game-changing plays. Broke the game open. Defense stepped up rest of the game, but Diontae Johnson was absolutely the MVP out in AZ. And then low moment, I'm not even going to show this again because I would just point to the drops from the 2020 season. So now that that's taken care of, let's talk about Diontae's ceiling and floor and maybe just that middle ground. What would all these look like? For me, the 2021 ceiling is he basically knocks all the drops away. Maybe he gets about 2 or 3 throughout a season. It's not like those are going to completely go away for any receiver in the league. Everyone's going to have a drop or 2 here or there. So those are completely wiped out. He reaches the over 100 reception mark. He reaches 1,300 yards, and then he gets double-digit touchdowns. If we're going to go in between the ceiling and floor and just say, hey, he lived up to expectations in 2021, I think that's over 90 receptions. I think that's over 1,000 yards. I think you cut the drops in half. And I think it's around 7 or 8 touchdowns just like he did last year. His final stats weren't bad at all. His final stats are a successful receiver in the NFL. So if he at least improves those just by a little bit, cuts the drops in half, that's showing that you could be a really good receiver in the NFL and have that consistency. His 2021 floor, the drops don't go away, gets under 900 yards and maybe like 5 or 6 touchdowns. So what do I think is the most likely scenario? What do I think is going to happen? What are my predictions? I actually think he's got a really good chance of reaching his ceiling for 2021. Him and Chase Claypool, in my opinion, are the 2 receivers on the roster with the most upside, with the most potential. Claypool might have the slight edge over Diontae, but obviously Ben likes to target Diontae. Despite the drops, despite some of the woes that we experienced last year, Ben Roethlisberger still targeted Diontae Johnson a ton. Had 88 receptions, only played in 15 games. So the 100 receptions, I think, is definitely within range. The 1,300 might be a little bit tougher just because we have Najee Harris. But 9 to 10 touchdowns, I don't think that's completely out of question either. So I think he's going to be closer to his ceiling as opposed to just living to expectations or his floor for 2021. Let me know your takes for Diontae Johnson for the upcoming season and what you thought of the vid down below. Stay chillin'. Peace.